Hello, everyone. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Number one, it's totally free. They also have creation tools that allow you to edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. How convenient is that? Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many, many more. So, what are you waiting for? You can also make money with no minimum listenership. It's time to get started.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kenya, and I am the host for today. We have a very special guest that will be joining us momentarily. And her name is Miss Larisa. I'm going to give you guys a little background in just a few moments. So we are talking about an examination of domestic violence. Today's special and honored guest is Larisa from Ukraine, or modern-day Russia. She'll explain more in detail where she's from when we get her on the line. You're going to hear from Miss Larisa, who tells her story as well as her son's story. She is a young mother that has an innocent son who's allegedly illegally detained without bail. He has not been charged with a crime. He has not been charged with a crime by the courts. Miss Larisa has stated in her letter to us that, and I quote, "I can't sleep bringing my son to America. The American dreams have turned into nightmares," end of quote. She continues to say, and I quote, "If you do not have money in America, there is no equal justice, and therefore you are treated inhumane or have no human rights," end of quote. She claims her son is being detained or being denied medical care. Again, she claims that her son is being denied medical care as a detainee. Allegedly, this is happening in prisons across America. Do you have a family member that has been falsely accused? Do you have a story that you'd like to share with us on our show today? Please give us a call, 563-999-3676. The phone lines will be open. We are going live right now. Please give us a call and tell us we'd like to hear your story. We're going to bring Miss Larisa on in just a few moments. For those of you that are just now tuning in to our show for the first time, again, my name is Kenya, and I have my very own podcast. You can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter as King Ya, Kingya. My podcasts are also available on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Anchor, TuneIn, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Just look for Kenya, Kingya. So with no further ado, we are going to go to the phone lines, and we are going to bring Miss Larisa on the line in just a few moments. Any other callers that are on the line, if you just press the number 1, then I'll know that you're there, and I'll know that you have a question that you'd like to ask our special guest today. So with no further ado, we are going to introduce Miss Larisa. Hey, Larisa, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Kenya. Thank you for inviting me for your show. I mean, I'm really so appreciate because it looks like no one really wants to hear, struggling, unless some people will be the same situation like me and my son now. And
yes.
So when I watched your episode, A Man's Journey into Darkness, I also wanted to say that it's like my personal journey. It's like mother journey to the darkness of United States of America justice system. And
yes,
like there is like so much myth became about America. When you read this Pledge of Alliance and you read these words, so that is justice for all. One nation under the God, with liberty and justice for all, it's just not the truth. Because I still remember that December 14, when I learned that my son is in jail, and he was jailed without any physical evidence, only based on his now to be soon to be ex-wife accusation. Only just think about it. There is no physical evidence, and only words goes into it. And the reveals like he had no legal representation. He was received public defender only after 8 days of being in jail. After 8 days. And the night when he was arrested by his, now, like I said again, to be wife, soon to be ex-wife, who is actually not even a United States citizen, but because of marriage to my son, she got the her permanent residence and now eligible to United States, and it's absolutely different subject we can go. But I know we have only half an hour, but what I want to say is that my journey was just to learn about American justice system, and I just realized that there is no presumption of innocence, because if you're in jail, if you get a, like I said, maybe I was not clear. No, my son got a bail, but a bail was set on $4,100,000. Just think about it, without any evidence. And I started discovering how it's happened, how it can be happening in America when just injustice. And I had to go literally, it's not federal law, it's a state, it's a California law, because my son is in jail in San Diego County. And I had to learn about DA office in Summer Stefan. I really would like to spend so much time, because there is not sometimes problem with the law. Law might be written nice, but when prosecutors and the judges taking their law in their own hands, and when they try to write their laws, I mean, that's what became wrong. They all talk about this criminal justice, reform, and I just can't imagine how they can achieve it if it's like that common law system and system of prokurors and judges have this literally enormous power. It says that no one above the law. No, there is above the law. There is above the law people who write in that law, who making it like their own law, interpret it as they want, because it's very convenient for them. And the same way.
And Larisa, and Larisa, it's interesting that you mentioned that. You pointed on a few different things. Again, for those that are just tuning into our show, I am King Ya. I'm the host of this show for today, and you are listening to Miss Larisa, who is she's an immigrant from Ukraine, or modern day Russia. She has her United States naturalized citizenship, so she is a citizen of the United States, and she's telling you her story. We're going to get a little background information on her and her journey to the Americas in just a few moments. However, because we want to paint the picture for you, or we don't want to paint the picture, but we want to give you guys just a little history and background on Larisa, her family, and the process that they had to go through to become citizens here in the United States. And since she has been a citizen of the United States, her son has been illegally detained. How old is your son? Let me ask that question first.
No, he's actually, he's 13 now. We came to America when he was 10 years old, and we came from Crimea. That's why I try to explain that Crimea, when we immigrated in 1999, it was a part of Ukraine since 1953. It's a long story, but in 2014, as maybe many of you know, they talk about the annexion of Crimea by Putin, and Crimea became part of Russia now. That's what I emphasize. I was born in Russia, but my son was born in 5 years of Russia.
Okay. And how old is he now again? I'm sorry.
He's 30 years old now. My son is 30
He's 30
years
years old now. Okay, your son is 30. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and we immigrated to America in 1999 because Ukraine, it's always was and is very corrupt country, and crime and mafia was just running, especially in Crimea. It was no law. I mean, it was law written by mafia and by Kiev, and that is. I really don't want to go to that subject, but it's what
sounds like a story for another show.
But what is it? I understood that my son has no future in Ukraine. You know, that's why we immigrated to America, and everything was going nice and smoothly. He became student studying chemistry in local St. Louis University, but then he met this woman who was from Taiwan on a student visa, and all problems started from that point. Like I said,
what happened, Larisa? What happened? What is he accused of?
His wife soon to be ex-wife, because they discussed divorce, and it was always problem and drama. I'm learning so much stuff now. He was not telling me all the story, but now I'm learning much, and I'm talking to his public defender and discovering she decided to accuse him. You know what, like, it's the best way to say that some people just try to, fake and getting a pass because they know that law will be on their side, especially in California, in San Diego, or actually all men who was wrongly accused their spouse. And so she accused him of sex crimes against his oldest daughter. I mean, that's oldest daughter, she's now 10. That's the reason he will stay with that woman, even married her, because he wanted to be a father. You know, he did not want to abandon his daughter, who actually, like many other men, some men learn that their girlfriend and pregnant and they will walk away, but it was not my son. And I was so proud of him, but I knew from the beginning it will be a problem. She was in evil. And I will send you, Kenja, that links to some websites what I was reading. It's like innocentdead.org or National Child Abuse Defense and Resource Center.
Yes.
Pardon my accent.
Okay.
And you can read so many stories, and it's like false allegation, and it's a child abuse false allegation. It's a crime itself. And
yes. And it's an act of domestic violence, and domestic violence across America it's horrible. You have true cases of domestic violence that has been committed against people, and definitely those people that are involved in that, unless it's self-defense, they should definitely be punished. But when they are falsely accused, there should be justice for those that are falsely accused, and it's horrific. The stories that we hear, the stories that we see. Our chat line is open for those that are tuning in to our show, An Examination of National Domestic Violence. And our special and honored guest is a young lady by the name of Miss Larisa. And she is telling you the story about her son, who is being illegally detained right now with a bond, a bail that it's definitely unaffordable. They are not able to afford that type of bail money. Larisa and I, we spoke, and a couple of days ago, she wrote a letter to us, and basically she was saying that she heard from her son February 19th, and his public defender told him that the forensic report did not show that there were any sex crimes and abuse against the alleged victim. But I guess his ex-wife stated that there was a verbal accusation, and because his ex-wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife, made a false accusation, then that accusation still stands against this innocent man. And the letter continues to state that that there was no police report, no hospital visit.